The camera world feels strangely quiet right now. It is not the silence of nothing happening. It is the silence before something big. Photographers and filmmakers sense it. Professionals hesitate before buying their next body. Rumor sites refresh every morning, waiting for the confirmation. At the center of all this is one name, Canon EOS R4. The very mention of R4 sparks curiosity. The R5 was Canon's resolution powerhouse. The R3 became the ultimate speed machine. So what is the R4 supposed to be? For years, Canon's lineup looked like a puzzle with one missing piece. We had the R, the RP, the R5, the R6, and the R3. Yet there was no R4. Some thought Canon avoided the number because in some cultures 4 is considered unlucky. Others believed it was marketing, saving the number for something special. But inside the industry, whispers told a different story. The R4 was not abandoned. It was delayed. Not because Canon couldn't build it, but because the technology to justify it simply wasn't ready. Now, in 2025, the wait is finally over. All signs point to Canon preparing a body that blends the best of two worlds. High resolution and high speed. No compromise. For years, professionals had to choose. Did you want detail or did you want speed? The R4 promises both. And that could make it the missing link in Canon's mirrorless lineup. The R5 gave us detail with its 45-megapixel sensor. It became the go-to choice for wedding shooters, commercial work, and anyone who needed massive files. The R3 delivered speed, low light power, and unmatched autofocus for sports and wildlife. But there was no body that gave you both. That is why the R4 matters so much. Leaks suggest the R4 will feature a new full-frame stacked BSI sensor, somewhere between 45 and 60 megapixels. If you are not deep into sensor tech, here is what that means. A stacked design allows data to be read from the sensor extremely fast. A backside illuminated structure allows more light to reach each pixel. Together, these two breakthroughs deliver detailed images even in dark conditions, while also allowing blazing fast bursts. Imagine photographing an Olympic sprint finish at 30 frames per second, every muscle frozen in perfect detail, no rolling shutter distortion. Or imagine shooting a fashion session in dim light, where the model is moving quickly, but the fabric still needs to be tack sharp. The R4 promises to merge these worlds into one. None of this matters without a powerful engine. The R4 is expected to run on either dual Digic X processors, or an entirely new Digic 11 generation. This kind of processing changes everything. A huge buffer means you can shoot bursts without the camera choking. Near-zero shutter lag means you capture the exact instant you want. Autofocus becomes almost predictive. You half-press the shutter and it already knows your subject. And this is not just for stills. Video shooters stand to gain even more. With this kind of power, the R4 could deliver 8K RAW video at 60 frames per second internally. No overheating struggles like earlier Canon models. No forced shutdowns. No external recorders required. For filmmakers, this is cinema-level capability inside a single camera body. Think about what that means. You could shoot a wedding ceremony without interruptions. You could film a documentary handheld with no extra rig. You could create a short film with Canon's legendary color science straight out of the camera. It is freedom for filmmakers. Still shooters are not left out either. An electronic shutter capable of 30 frames per second at full resolution makes the R4 an action monster. Sports, wildlife, dance, and street photography, all with zero rolling shutter distortion. Pair that with up to 8.5 stops of in-body stabilization, and suddenly handheld work in dark venues becomes effortless. Then there is one of the most unexpected rumored features, built-in electronic ND filters. Normally photographers and videographers carry ND filters to control exposure, especially when shooting wide open in bright daylight. If Canon builds this feature into the R4, workflows will change forever. No more fiddling with glass. No more wasted time swapping filters. Just instant light control at the tap of a button. Videographers, in particular, will love this. Moving from indoors to outdoors will no longer mean adjusting an entire setup. Exposure shifts become seamless. For content creators, this could feel revolutionary. The shooting experience itself also looks ready for a huge leap. The R4 is rumored to feature a 9.44 million dot electronic viewfinder. That is one of the sharpest EVFs ever put in a mirrorless body. With this kind of resolution, you do not just frame the shot, you see the world in lifelike clarity. Manual focusing becomes precise. Motion tracking feels natural. It is the closest thing to an optical viewfinder, but with digital overlays that make shooting easier. Storage will not hold this camera back either. Expect dual CF Express Type B slots. These cards provide massive capacity and the insane speeds required for 8K RAW or continuous high-megapixel bursts. Professionals shooting weddings, sports, or commercial work will not need to worry about cards filling up too fast or buffers dragging performance. Physically, the R4 is expected to sit between the R5 and the R3. That means a magnesium alloy body, full weather sealing, and a deep grip designed for comfort even on long shooting days. This will not be a delicate studio toy. It will be a rugged travel companion, built to handle Arctic cold, desert sand, or tropical rain. Canon knows their users do not always work in controlled environments. They are out chasing wildlife, covering sports, and documenting stories in unpredictable conditions. The R4 must survive all of that. Of course, Canon cannot release the R4 in isolation. The competition is fierce. Sony's Alpha 1 and Alpha 9 already push mirrorless limits. Nikon's Z8 and Z9 are serious contenders. These are cameras designed to give professionals everything in one body. Canon's answer must be just as bold. The R5 is still good, but it is aging. The R3 is fast, but too specialized for many. That leaves the R4 with the chance to take the spotlight. And the timing could not be better. The market has shifted. Creators today are not just photographers or just filmmakers. They are both. They need tools that shoot a wedding in the morning, film a cinematic project in the afternoon, and maybe even live stream at night. Nobody wants to carry 3 different bodies. The Canon EOS R4 could be the answer. A one-camera solution. The hybrid creators have been waiting for. That is why the buzz feels so intense. If Canon truly delivers both speed and resolution, both cinema-grade video and professional stills, then the R4 could become the workhorse of an entire generation of creators. Price and positioning are the next big questions. Nothing is confirmed yet, but expectations are high. Canon's flagship, the EOS R1, will remain in the ultra-premium space. That is the body reserved for the absolute top tier of sports and press professionals. But the R4 could be priced strategically. Somewhere below Sony's Alpha 1. Somewhere that feels reachable for hybrid creators, wedding photographers, commercial shooters, travel vloggers, and YouTubers. If Canon hits the right balance, the R4 will become irresistible. It could be the professional's workhorse. A flagship without the impossible price tag. A camera that feels like an investment instead of a gamble. But let's step deeper into what makes the R4 so exciting: autofocus. Autofocus is the invisible magic that most people underestimate. Canon already has one of the most trusted autofocus systems in the world. With the R4, it is expected to get even smarter. Face and eye detection will likely become faster and more reliable, even in poor lighting. Animal and bird tracking may be powered by advanced AI. This means the camera won't just lock on, it will predict movement. Imagine photographing an eagle mid-flight. It swoops behind a tree. Most cameras would lose focus. But the R4 could remember its trajectory. The instant the eagle reappears, focus is already locked. No hunting. No missed frames. Just precision. This kind of predictive intelligence changes everything. For sports shooters, it means no more lost moments. For wildlife photographers, it means no more frustration. For event professionals, it means confidence that every shot counts. Then there is low light performance and dynamic range. A stacked BSI sensor means huge gains in both areas. Highlights retain more detail. Shadows stay cleaner with less noise. For landscape photographers, this provides more flexibility in editing. For filmmakers, it means more control without the need for massive lighting rigs. Low light, in particular, becomes less intimidating. Clean shots at ISO levels that used to be considered emergency only could now be normal. Weddings in dim venues. Documentaries shot in night markets. Concerts under flashing lights. All captured with sharp detail and minimal noise. The R4 is not just a camera for daylight. It is a camera for every condition. Stabilization is another area where Canon is expected to push the limits. Canon's IBIS system is already excellent, but the R4 could take it further, up to 8.5 stops. That number might sound technical, but here's what it really means. Handheld night shots that once demanded a tripod can now be sharp. Walking video that once required a gimbal now looks cinematic straight from the body. It makes creativity easier because the gear no longer gets in the way. When you combine all of these features, autofocus intelligence, stacked BSI sensor, unmatched stabilization, you begin to see why the R4 feels different. It is not just another release. It feels like a shift. A step toward the true hybrid era, where one body really can do it all. Now let's address the competition again. Sony's Alpha 1 is still the gold standard for hybrid shooters. Nikon Z9 and Z8 have proved incredibly strong, especially in video. But Canon's secret weapon has always been its color science and lens ecosystem. Canon lenses remain legendary. From the fast IF primes to the versatile zooms, professionals trust them for reliability and quality. Pair those lenses with the R4's rumored specs, and you get a combination that feels hard to match. This is why professionals are paying such close attention. Nobody wants to jump into an expensive system that feels half-baked. But the R4, if real, promises a level of completeness that is rare. It doesn't ask you to choose. It doesn't force compromises. It says, take detail, take speed, take cinema-grade video, take rugged design, and do it all in one body. Of course, with power comes questions about heat management and battery life. Canon learned tough lessons from the R5 overheating debates. The R4 cannot repeat that. The stacked sensor and new processors are expected to manage heat more effectively. Longer record times. Stable performance. Fewer warnings interrupting shoots. That alone will make filmmakers breathe a sigh of relief. Battery life will matter too. High-resolution bursts and 8K recording demand serious power. Canon's LP E19 or an upgraded variant may be used here, ensuring enough juice for all-day shooting. Nobody wants a professional body that dies halfway through an event. Another area worth watching is connectivity. The hybrid generation of creators expects more than just memory cards. They expect seamless integration with their workflows. Faster Wi-Fi. Stable Bluetooth. Possibly even 5G options. For live streamers and event shooters, instant transfer could be a deciding factor. Canon knows this. The R4 must not only shoot like a dream, but also fit into the modern connected world. So where does this leave us? We return to the silence. That quiet anticipation surrounding the R4. Professionals are waiting. Creators are holding off purchases. The market feels paused, all for this one camera. And the reason is simple: the EOS R4 promises to be more than just another number in the lineup. It promises to be the camera that erases compromise. A single body that offers 45 to 60 megapixels of detail, 30 frames per second electronic shutter bursts, 8K RAW video at 60 frames per second without overheating, built-in ND filters for seamless exposure control, up to 8.5 stops of stabilization, a 9.44 million EVF for lifelike viewing, dual CF Express slots for pro-level storage, rugged design for any condition, smarter autofocus powered by AI, and pricing that could undercut its rivals. 4 years, professionals carried 2 bodies. One for speed, one for detail. 4 years, filmmakers carried external recorders, cooling rigs, and stacks of ND filters. 4 years, creators compromised. If the rumors hold true, the Canon EOS R4 could end that era. It could be the camera that defines 2025. The new king of hybrid shooting. The camera that makes us all ask, why carry 2 when 1 is enough? The silence is about to break. And when it does, the Canon EOS R4 may not just fill the gap in the lineup, it may change the direction of the entire industry.